When we think about building wealth, we get obsessed with the things we can control, right? Our budget, our investment choices, our career path. But what if the most powerful force in our financial lives is the one we totally ignore? Today, we're going to dig into the hidden math of wealth, that constant battle between our logic and pure, simple luck. See, on one side, you've got everything we're told to master: strategy, discipline, good old-fashioned hard work. But on the other side, there's this silent partner, this invisible variable that's always at the table: luck. And honestly, just understanding its role is a total game changer.
The truth is, luck isn't some minor thing. It's a fundamental piece of the puzzle for getting rich and for losing it all. If we don't even acknowledge it, we're basically flying blind.
Now, look, acknowledging luck isn't about giving up or saying, oh, well, hard work doesn't matter. Not at all. It's actually the very first step toward building a much smarter and, frankly, more resilient financial strategy.
This right here points to a really powerful psychological trap. If you think every single win is 100% because of your own genius, well, you get arrogant. You start taking bigger, dumber risks. And on the flip side, if you think every loss is entirely your fault, you get absolutely crushed and you might just give up. Recognizing luck keeps you balanced. It keeps you in the game.
So to really get a handle on luck, you have to meet its twin sibling, risk. They're basically the same concept, two sides of the same coin. They're both born from the exact same truth. The world is just way too complex for your actions alone to dictate 100% of the results. Think about it like this. A surprise tech breakthrough makes your stock go to the moon and makes you rich. That's good luck. A global pandemic that nobody saw coming crashes your investment. That's bad luck, which we just call risk. It's the same force, just pointing in a different direction. The key thing? You didn't control either of those events. Okay, so if luck and risk are so incredibly powerful, why do we constantly overlook them? I mean, why is it so hard for us to see? Well, the answer lies in this really powerful cognitive bias that completely shapes how we look at success. It's called survivorship bias. And what it means is we focus all of our attention on the winners. The person who made some crazy all-or-nothing bet and somehow became a billionaire.
We see the one, that single data point that proves, hey, it's possible. It's the story that gets told over and over and over again. But this is only a tiny, tiny fraction of the whole picture.
Because here's the thing, for that one winner, there are thousands of invisible failures. People who took the exact same reckless gamble and were completely wiped out. We don't write books about them, we don't make movies about them, so we completely forget their lesson.
So the crucial takeaway here is this: stop trying to copy the exact moves of the one outlier who got incredibly lucky. Instead, you've got to focus on the broad, repeatable patterns of success. Strategies that don't require you to win the lottery for them to actually work.
So if we can't control luck, are we just stuck? Can we at least, attract more of it? Well, the answer is yes. It's all about turning that passive hope into a really active strategy. And the core idea here is what's called your luck surface area. Think about it. You can't decide when or where lightning is going to strike, right? But you can definitely build a bigger lightning rod. You can make yourself a much bigger target for all those positive opportunities floating around out there. And here's basically the formula for that lightning rod. Doing stuff just means you're out there creating value. You're learning new skills, building projects, trying things out. Telling people means you're putting that value out into the world. You're networking, you're sharing your ideas. Good luck? Well, that's just what happens when those two things collide. This brings us right back to that classic saying. And in finance, preparation has a very specific meaning. It means having cash on hand, what investors call dry powder. A market crash is a horrible event for most people, but for the investor who's prepared, it's a massive, lucky opportunity to buy great assets on the cheap. Their preparation literally created their luck. Okay, so we've covered offense, attracting good luck. Now let's switch gears and talk defense. How do you protect yourself from bad luck? This is all about building what we call an anti-fragile system, one that doesn't just survive shocks, but can actually get stronger from them. So the first step is to figure out where you are most fragile. For a lot of people, it comes down to a single point of failure. Your entire income depends on one job. Your whole retirement is tied up in one company's stock. Your goal is to find that vulnerability and then systematically, piece by piece, build some redundancies. And the shift in mindset here is, well, it's profound. Instead of relying on that one job,
You start building multiple streams of income. Instead of betting it all on one stock, you own the entire market through a broad index fund. You're basically trading the tiny chance of a spectacular win for the near certainty of not getting wiped out by a single unlucky event.
The final piece of your defense is building in a margin of safety. This is your buffer. It's you explicitly acknowledging that things can, and absolutely will, go wrong. You don't just hope for the best-case scenario. You plan for a reality where you get a whole string of bad luck, and you make sure you'll still be okay anyway. All right, let's bring all this together with the final, and maybe the most powerful idea of all. The truly, truly successful people are often the most willing to admit just how much of a role luck played in their lives. It's a bit of a paradox. And thinking this way has real, tangible benefits. Humility, for one, stops you from making those huge, ego-driven mistakes that can ruin fortunes. And empathy, well, it makes you realize that not all failure is because someone was lazy, and not all success is due to genius. It makes you a better investor and, honestly, just a better person.
This quote just perfectly captures the entire philosophy. You can't control the outcome of any single roll of the dice. You just can't. But you can choose to play games that have better odds, and you can build a system that lets you stay at the table long enough to let those odds work out in your favor.
So the crucial point, the main thing to walk away with, is to shift your focus. Forget about hunting for that 1 in a million lucky break. Instead, pour all that energy into building a robust financial system. A system where luck becomes a welcome bonus, not a desperate requirement. And that leaves us with one final thought for you to reflect on. Look back at your own life, at your biggest financial success so far. And if you're being truly, brutally honest with yourself, how much of it was your skill and how much of it was just being in the right place at the right time? Something to think about.